Hello, this is Christy. In this video, I will show you a quick run through the updates from Descript version 76, which just updated yesterday. The version 76 has a few features improvements as well as some bug fixes, but I will just focus on the features, what's new and what's changed, so that you can have a quick idea of what to expect and where to find the stuff that's been added. The first thing is you can now expand your canvas area to have it larger and preview your video larger, and also you can access some of the areas that were harder to access in the past from the sides if you have something that's off the canvas. So let's have a look at this. You see this project in here, and I have a canvas in here, and the new feature is that if you go to the top right, you will see now this little button here showing up. It says expand canvas, and when you click that, it makes the canvas kind of full screen so that you have nothing on the sides. And also you can click the same button now on the top right to bring it back. The nice thing is that if you had something that you needed to manipulate that was off the screen, it was kind of hard to do before. But now look, if you expand the timeline, you can actually push the timeline up, and you can see now that you have access to all of this area on the left and the right of the canvas. So if you, for example, have a rectangle or something that was off the screen like this, you can now access that and kind of animate things coming into the scene or going back out and stuff like that, which was very hard before because you had to kind of shrink the canvas so small to be able to access all these things that are on the outside. And this is particularly useful if you're doing cropping and stuff like this, where if you are resizing your video, you know that you couldn't actually go much further than the top left corner here. And now if you kind of play with the resizing a little bit, you can maybe have access to that. And if you need access to the top and the bottom, I guess you have to go back to minimizing the canvas and reducing the size of the canvas this way. So now you can access the area at the top and the bottom. It is not possible still yet to take the canvas out of the window, and I believe Descript is going to have a hard time doing this because the whole application is one browser window basically. So it's not going to be possible, I think, to have things popping out and so that you can move it. A lot of users have requested the ability to take the canvas out, detach it, and move it maybe to a second screen or move it around and resize it at will. I don't think that's coming very soon because of the technical limitation of the platform that Descript is using. But anyway, this is good news because you can collapse this. And by the way, there's a shortcut key, Command and period, right? Command period will maximize it and minimize it like this. And you can go to the menu as well, to the view menu, and you can use the command called show hide preview. However, this will hide it for you because it makes it full screen like this. But when you press command period, it disappears completely, which I think it's a bug. I tried to bring it back. I was like, how can I bring it back now? Because I pressed command full stop, and command full stop just now brings it full screen and disappears. So you have to go back to the view menu, show hide preview again, and now it's back there. I think it's a bit of a misunderstanding there with the keyboard shortcut and the states of the canvas. But just to so you know, this is very nice that it was added so that you have more control and you can play your video on a larger area. The second change was, you may remember from one of my previous videos where I complained about the fact that the marker navigation has been removed from audio-only compositions. And sure enough, I've got a few markers in this composition here. You see them on the text there, and they also show on the sidebar if your composition is video. But if your composition was audio only, all of the sidebar disappeared, right? So you went to File and Composition to audio only. Now the sidebar is gone. I see my markers in the text, but I couldn't see them anymore to navigate. The only way to navigate was to go to Actions and go to Jump to Marker, and then there's your markers. Too many clicks to do that. Well, thankfully, Descript have listened to the feedback, and they brought back this little button here, this navigation of the markers that was on the side there. So there you have it now. It's back. And if you have markers, it will show up. If you don't have any markers, this is not going to show up in there on the top right. So this is great news. Thank you, Descript, for that. And speaking of markers, another change, you can actually now drag the markers in the text to move them. So I have this marker here. You can hover over the left side of it and it says drag to change placement. So if I drag this, you see my marker, I can move it around and move it down there and so on. And for me, it was kind of weird. How do I know exactly where I want to drop it? Maybe I want to drop it in the middle of a paragraph. Well, you just look at the first word that's highlighted. That's the word that's going to be added before. So if now I want to put my marker before the word and here, I just release it on top of the word and then, it breaks that paragraph and puts the marker there. You can slide and move it up again. You see, if you're not targeting a specific word like this, it's not going to move. So you need to target the words. So you say, which word do you want the marker to appear before? So there you go, and release it on top of a word. That's how you need to do it. This is very useful. However, I don't exactly know how it's going to work if you need to scroll down, because you see you can't scroll down. You see when you pull the markers, so you have to kind of find the right place to trigger the scrolling. For me, it doesn't seem to work. So yeah, that's the thing. As long as you're in one screen, you can drag them up and down. That's fine. And of course, you can't drag them in here on this sidebar because it doesn't know exactly where you want to place it in text. So I suppose, if you need to move markers, you might just well do it like before. Just delete the marker and add it somewhere else. But, it's good for little adjustments like this, precise movements in the same screen. And one more thing, the function to remove filler words was a little bit damaged on one of the recent updates where it lost the ability to remove filler words from text only. So a lot of users have complained about this because if you want to remove filler words from text only, but you want to let the audio and video still play, so if someone's saying and maybe you want to still hear that and leave it in your video, you don't want to make cuts, but if you want to remove it from your transcript to clean it, it wasn't possible. It was a removal. So they brought that back now. So if you go to actions at the top and you say remove filler words, now let's say, I'm just going to leave all the words selected in here. And if you go to delete, instead of deleting, you now have this new option, remove from transcript, which was there before. So now it's back anyway. So removing from transcript means that if I go to one filler word here, let's say sort of, not really a filler word. Let's try the next one. This is it. So if I play this now, if I turn on my Spot Audition and click on it, thing more a sort of light blue like this, so I'm creating. Okay, so I do say but I want to remove it from the text. So if I click remove with this option selected, remove from transcript. So now I've done it. It's gone. But if I go back to that place and play again now, like this, so I'm creating kind of, so you did hear me saying but it's obviously gone from the text. So that's great. And finally, one more change that was made is that now if you have media without transcription, it's going to show in the transcript as wordless media. And I don't know how to explain this to you. I have a file here. It's a music file that has no words and it has no transcription, obviously. And it is placed on the script track down there. You see it. And because it's not transcribed, I don't see any words on it. And also in the text, it actually shows you the name of the file and it just says, it's an audio file, whatever it is, and the file name. Well, I don't think I have this update yet because Descript have said that it's going to be rolled out to different people at different times, like gradual rollout, I think. And I think I'm one of those who didn't get it yet. But normally, if this option is turned on now, you're going to see wordless media. This is the word, say that 3 times. Wordless media, you will see it in your text as little waveforms, it's going to show you kind of the waveform, but that's it. You're not going to see the names anymore. I don't know what to think about this because it may be hard to see the sides. Maybe I don't know how it's going to work, say whether it's good or bad. I worry about seeing kind of the edges of the media, where it starts and where it stops. And of course, I think as soon as you transcribe it, if it's got words on it, it's going to show with the words instead of the wordless media. So I think they're trying to optimize the way that you visualize different types of media and files in your script directly. Well, that's it for the Descript update for version 76. These are the big highlights, and there's not much new feature happening there. There's just a bunch of bug fixes and things that people have reported before from the previous version. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next update.